All right, we're live. What's up?
Awesome.
Look.
That is like I want to see her whole. Can we?
No, you gotta get off the table, babe.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing. She really just.
She don't care. It's just Nami's world, and I'm living in it, babe. At least show some decency.
So put it away. I mean, come on now.
He just puts it out there. We just try to make this is on silent.
How old is she?
1.5.
Oh, she's the baby.
Yeah.
The baby today we had to go buy like the bigger crate. Like I went to the store. I was like, I need your thickest, indestructible crate.
Yeah.
Oh
my God. Yes. I love it.
The whole podcast will just take over at this point.
Yeah.
No, she's only 1.5. Listen, our kid did this to us like every time we try to do anything. Now he knows what's happening when it's happening.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
See, he's at that good age.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God. This is
a moment where now I have to show my full body when I'm in those tiny short shorts because she won't jump down.
Oh my gosh.
This is amazing on so many levels.
Hey.
So funny.
Great. She'll be back.
She's like, wait a minute, Mom. What? I have to go on the floor? Like as a dog? What do you mean?
Dude, she's bigger than you.
Yeah, she's a nice little 73 pounds, I think, at this point.
She's so tall, too.
Yeah. Is she going to get bigger or no?
No, I think if anything, she's just going to fill out more.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
When I first was looking for her, when we got the picture of all the litter, all the puppies in the litter, I was just I had to pick the smallest one based on picture just because my shepherd, who is normal in the backyard chilling, he's a small shepherd. So I couldn't do that to him and get this ginormous, I knew he'd freak.
Yeah.
Type thing.
And they get along good?
Now they do.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Because usually don't they say shepherds should be the only dog or they should be with other shepherds, other dogs don't really mix?
So this is the funny thing. So unfortunately, he was taken to the dog park way too prematurely out in Southampton, and there was another German Shepherd that had a very bad reputation, and I was not there when it happened because I would have threw hands at the woman. But her Shepherd would go after kids. You would freak. Kids, other dogs, and bit a human. Yeah. Mm-mm. So I know they got banned, but Ace got attacked by one, and so he hates shepherds. Yeah.
So no home training. These people with dogs have no home training. Got it. Never been socialized.
Yeah, I don't know how you bring a dog to a park.
Yeah.
And then multiple incidents. Okay, fine. Fine. You get to the park, you know your dog, you think everything's good, but that first time maybe it's overstimulated, maybe there's another dog energy okay, fine. You live and you learn, but then you don't bring them back. And the thought of it was a multiple incident, that's just
that's also heartbreaking too, because that's on the owner. Is as a huge dog lover, I actually will never blame the dog first. I'm gonna blame the owner.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. 100%. 100%.
Why did you put him in that situation? That's not fair.
Yeah. Yeah. It absolutely falls on the owner. And that was my point. The fact that this owner kept bringing this dog to this park essentially to fail. 100%. Every single time you're bringing your dog there to fail. And then you're kind of looking around it's everybody else's dog.
And also Southampton Dog Park, it's not it's a whole bunch of regulars that just always bring their dogs to the park too. We have so many tourists and whatnot that get a dog for a summer, bring them out here. And then it's they've never trained the dog. They don't even care. They just want the dog to be in a purse. And it's well, your dog acts like crap. Well, because you didn't train your dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can spot those people out really quick. You're
yeah. That's why I won't bring ours.
Really?
Nah. Oh, she froze.
I mean, that's a funny way to freeze, but you definitely froze.
I do love the froze face. We'll get her back eventually.
Yeah.
Take her out and bring her back in.
I mean, that's a really good frozen picture. Yeah.
But no, we're talking to Courtney from HillStreets Boxing. She's a coach. She runs all the classes. Also, excellent personal trainer when it comes to. Oh, there we go. She's back.
Were you talking about me?
We
Yeah,
were. We were.
So I
a little bit just functional fitness, you know, cardio, weights, whatever. She's one of our homies. She has helped us kind of acclimate to learning how to box.
I say to boxing life.
Yeah, she's very much helped us like acclimate, because you know Colleen and I both like to do it, and you know it. But yeah, so we brought her on here today to kind of talk a little bit about gym life, gym culture. I know we've been talking about that a lot on the podcast recently. Is you know, influencers in the gym with their video cameras and you know, just how gym culture has kind of changed, at least since I've grown up. I know that I'm a fortnight older than the two of you, but
jeez.
Oh, I don't know that.
but yeah, like I'm sure that you have both kind of seen it as you've gone through. You know, Colleen, you were a dancer, you played soccer. You know, I Courtney, please tell us like what did you grow up doing?
Oh, hate talking about it. I was a runner for 8 years, competitive
Oh,
life, but like like running camp, like that. The vibe that we just don't talk about anymore, actually. But no, I grew up running. I actually never made the softball team. I tried.
Oh, how very straight of you. That's amazing.
So yeah, running was my forte. I just liked to run. To be honest, it was just kind of easy. I feel like if I would have taken it a little bit more serious, I mean, things gonna happen. But I mean, at that point, it was just more fun. You run to McDonald's and see who would throw it first on the way back. That's kind of like what we did on the team. And it was one of those things. I hate to say it, like you know, like when you were in high school, I feel like I feel as though like I had to stick with it. So it's like you have cross country, winter track, spring track. And so like there was one time I wanted to like join the raffle team and they got, you know, that was a terrible idea anyway. But you know, just the thought, and I remember my coach being like, "Oh, you can't." And it's like, oh, well, like I wanted to kind of try something else. And you kind of feel like so committed. Plus, like all your like that's your group of friends. You know what I mean? So that was my thing. But then I did kickboxing solo probably when I was 16, 17, like outside of school.
Cool. Right. So yeah, we've all come from very different, like I was basketball, softball, how very gay of me. And so
I mean,
we've all had
so.
I mean, I will say this as far as my softball career went, I never put a bow in my hair to play. I'll tell you that much right now. There was never a bow.
No?
Never had earrings.
No.
Nope.
No bow?
No bow.
No bow. Do they wear bows? I don't even know.
No, isn't like a thing? Like each school has like different
the color bow,
like a bow. Some of them have bows in their hair. I think it's like a thing.
would know.
Ponytail and barf.
Yeah.
So no, but yeah, we've all come from very different backgrounds, and obviously for all the sports that we've played, we've had to be in the gym to like you obviously have to train to get better at the sport specific training, and we've all done it, whether it's you know CrossFit. I dabbled in bodybuilding because I loved muscle and fitness and whatnot. You got into like TRX training and stuff with me. I know Courtney, you know TRX training because that's your favorite freaking implement whenever you're training us
I'll explain more later.
Well, I have a question. When you guys were in high school, because I came to weightlifting and strength training after high school. Was that anything that either one of you guys did in high school?
I wish. I really wish.
Yeah. Yeah, I do too. And I feel like it wasn't as available or really talked about when we were in high school. I feel like for us, when you thought about weightlifting, you thought about the, like you said, babe, the bodybuilders or the world's strongest and Arnold. And that's kind of who you saw. And a lot of the fear, especially for young girls being in high school, maybe I don't know if you felt the same way, but I'm pretty sure that you and I kind of felt the same way of like, you can't lift weights because if you lift weights, you're going to get really big and you have to stay skinny, you know? And then I think for you as a runner, I was a dancer and then you were a runner. Like, did you feel that extra sense of like staying super, super skinny and that fear of like, I can't lift weights because if I lift weights, I'm going to get big. And then if I get big, then I can't perform to the level that I want to perform.
Yeah, I think when it came to running, when I did start training weights years later, I was like, wow, like I'm definitely slower as I run now, but I felt better personally. But yeah, the lifting weights at the time, like that wasn't like they never like steered us in that direction at all. Because at that point, it's like if you're gonna make your legs like stronger, like yeah, it's good to a point. But I think when I started like really training, I remember I was like, ooh, these are like bricks. I can't run anymore. Like that was like a completely big shock to my body. So yeah, they definitely didn't push it. I was really never talked about, to be honest, in high school. I think honestly, CrossFit, that started being talked about as like some of the other kids, probably by like my junior or senior year, were like, I do CrossFit. And I'm like,
okay.
What's that? And at that point, no, I don't even know where it was, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Tell me what year that was though. That's fair. That's really interesting that
I graduated high school with 2011. There's a chance I might get all my dates wrong with 2011. Yeah, 2011.
So that's like the 2007 to 2011. That was like when 2011 was when CrossFit started to kick off. That's when Rich Froning won the CrossFit Games for the first time. So that's when it really started to pick up. So that's super cool that kids even knew about CrossFit at that time. But
yeah, just a few though, not a lot. Like just a few.
Yeah. But I mean, there was way more. We didn't know anything about CrossFit when I was growing up. That it wasn't. Well,
you said that you saw it like on like a commercial on ESPN once, babe. Like when, yeah.
No, the same way they do it now, where they kind of have those like CBS, like they'll do like clips. They won't show the whole event, but they'll show clips of the last heat or whatever. They had those on, and that was when I think Annie. Yeah, it was the year that Rich Froning won. Annie won. Chris Clever came in second. Like Spieler.
Yeah.
Or no, he wasn't on the podium that year. It was the year before. But,
no, he wasn't. Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first year where it kicked off and that everybody was talking about it. That was the thing.
Yeah.
So.
And did they talk about kind of what it was? It was like the mix of strength training and cardio. Did they ever like kind of mention a little bit more what it was?
No, it was an ESPN broadcast. And honestly, it was just a spectacle of seeing people jump over freaking 12-foot fences and doing what they had the ring handstand push-ups for the final heat that year and all kinds of crazy rope climbs and stuff as a spectacle, whatever. So, or no, that was 2010. Sorry. I forget what the ending was for 2011, but maybe it was 2010 that I saw it then, because I remember that. And I remember being like, holy crap, these people are like ridiculous. There's no way I would ever do that. There's no way there's no way.
Yeah.
But it was really awesome to watch. The sport was really awesome to watch at the time.
Yeah.
So,
and I think for women, seeing strong women and seeing us lifting weights, and, I'm sure a lot of us are like, holy shit, that's even possible. But again, I just grew up with always that stereotype of like, you can't lift weights because if you lift weights, you're going to get too big.
Yeah. I never played a sport that was a problem. So I never had that thing, but it was really cool to see CrossFit girls, like seeing Annie Thorisdottir for the first time. I was like, because I thought she was like my height, and no, she's like 5'7", but she was like jacked as hell and abs like a brick shit house, and it was just awesome to watch. But I understand what you guys are talking about, and I had a lot of friends that went through, I think, what you guys went through in that high school, early college phase.
So, Court, when did you find weights?
Ooh, I found weights probably right like freshman year of college. I was like, I just want to get stronger. When I ran track, I was like very tiny. I mean, granted, it was definitely genetics and a good metabolism, but like I know people would like, it sucks to say this because people would, this is why like talking about sizing is so tricky, but like I was very like the size of a pole, like 0 to a 2. And I just, hi Garrett. Like makes my day. But being like that tiny, like I wanted to just running made me look a certain way that I did not personally like. I didn't feel good, to be honest. My body was always hurting. And I think something for too long is just not good. So like to incorporate some strength to get stronger. Like I remember like 5 and 8 pounds feeling so heavy. And now it's like, I'll be like, here we go. Here's a 50. And I'm like, I don't feel anything anymore. And that's awesome. So I would say, yeah, freshman year of college was when I kind of started like doing it myself and just fell in love with it. Like it's a hobby of mine. I'm weird. Yeah. I like gym things. Like it's like that's like everyone's like my therapist. Like, what's your hobby? I'm like lifting weights. And she's like, no, what's your hobby? And I'm like,
lifting weights.
She's like, you probably should find a different hobby. I'm like, you know, it is what it is.
People always ask me, and this morning when I went to boxing this morning, because I had Alan early, and unfortunately there was only 2 of us, so it was just the most painful scenario that's ever occurred in my entire life.
My poor wife has literally had 2 people in her class for the last 2 days. Poor thing.
But like that's nice though. Like you hate it, but you love it. Like, come on.
You're right. You're right. You're not wrong.
Come on.
But I forget the guy's name. I can't think of his name, and I'm so sad. The guy that I worked out with this morning.
I don't remember his name either.
You, Courtney, will know him as soon as I can like point him out to you or whatever.
This is my favorite game.
Yeah, yeah. But it was like being in there and doing that. And he asked me. He literally looked at me and he was like, "What are you training for?" And I was like, I'm not training for anything. This is just a hobby that I really love and I really enjoy doing. And I was like, because he specifically asked me, are you training for fitness or are you training for a fight? I was like, I'm definitely not training for a fight, but like a little bit of fitness and maybe like learning how to spar.
What'd you say? Sure. Not yet?
Yeah.
I was like, Courtney said something. I was like, did you say what? Not yet?
I mean, I don't know, but I'm not outside running. So
partner, let's go. Come on,
dude. Well, Avery did ask me today, like, what if you were like, you know, moving lately and in partner drills and someone punched you in the face, what would you do? I'm like, punch them in the face back. Like, I don't know what you're asking me. And he was like, oh, that wasn't the answer I was looking for. I was like, oh, well, I mean, because like as training, you know what I mean? Like if someone accidentally punched me in the face, I'm like, no, you punched me in the face. You're getting punched in the face. Like I'm jabbing you in the face.
What was the answer that he wanted? Because I have the same answer as you.
No, well, the answer that he wanted was like, would I be controlled enough if it was like a new person to just be like no. If you want to join,
have stated that at first. Like, come on,
you should have started the sentence that way first.
Yeah, that would have been fine.
I literally looked at him and I'm like, if you punch me in the face while we're practicing, I'm punching you in the face. Like I'll find a way. Like, but no, it was just super funny. But I get you on the hobbies. I get you on the hobby thing. Going back to what you guys were talking about, is it is a hobby and it can just be a fun hobby that you're doing and you like it. And yeah, I want to lift and I don't know. You guys maybe can explain it to me better. I have never gotten huge just lifting. Like, I mean, I'm just big in general. I've always been this big, but it's not like I've ever gotten any bigger because I don't know. I'm a bad example for women. You guys talk about that. I'm an outlier for women. I look at a donut and I get an extra like shoulder blade. So
I mean, she really does. I mean, her arms are just always defined.
I'm a bad.
It doesn't matter if she lifts
relative
weights or not.
To myself, I don't get any bigger. But I mean, I'm sure like other women looking at me are like, "Oh, that's too big. I don't want to be that big." But for you guys, I don't know.
Well, I'm sure you can look at yourself, Court, from like, you know, the last couple of years. Huh?
I apologize if they start barking. This is
no, that's okay. That's okay.
There's a deer in the front yard. Everyone needs to know about it.
Yeah. They're protecting the house. You didn't know? Do you feel protected?
Totally. You hear the doorman crying. She's like, oh my God. It's gonna go on for like 5 more minutes. But I'm so sorry. What were you saying, Kylie?
No, it's okay. You know, I mean, if you look back at yourself for like the, you know, last 5 years or so, I mean, I've seen a difference in my body from lifting. You know what I mean? Like if you saw me, I mean, even when I met Garrett 11 years ago, like I was this no arms
She was a
having
twig.
like
Twig.
skinny, like yeah. I mean, my arm, I had no arms, no back, no nothing, you know, and I have tried so many different types of fitness. Like she said, I used to be a dancer. I used to teach dance all the time. And then we would just do just going in the gym and lifting, you know, just getting strong. And then we found CrossFit and now we're into boxing. And I just feel like the consistency has been lifting weights. And I definitely see my body changing. It's funny to me because most times I'm not like, oh my God, my arms are so big or my back is so big. But then I'll get a glimpse of like that one picture or that one angle. And I'm like, oh, like my back is pretty defined right now. You know what I'm saying? And I actually like it. So it really depends on the person. But like a lot of times women, I'm sure you experience this too. Women are like, I can't lift more than 5 pounds because like we said earlier, they don't want to get bulky. So for you, have you ever struggled with that type of mentality while you were lifting?
Me personally, no. There's two things I want to touch on. Is that one, to still be in 2023 and still have women say that to me to this day is so frustrating. That's still a very common statement. I don't want to get too big. Sometimes I'll get like a referral or a client reach out and they make it clear in like the second sentence, I want to be strong, but I don't want to look bulky. And I'm my girlfriend. You don't know who you're talking to because like when I'll do like a barbell, like Colleen knows this, when I like say like we got to do a barbell hip thrust, right? They want to strengthen their glutes to fix the lower back. You're minimum starting with 80 pounds with me, minimum. And it's just like, and they're like, oh no. And especially with arms, I noticed with women. Arms has been like it was funny. I was actually on Instagram today and I saw an old client I trained who she was like, my wedding's coming up. I can't get big. And she refused to lift more than 5 pounds. Mm-hmm. And I was like, but she wanted to lose like weight. And I'm like, but that's not a combo. Mm-hmm. So it's so frustrating that, and like, you can like all three of us can post articles saying, proving that statement wrong. And it still doesn't matter. It's unfortunately drilled into people's heads at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you come into the gym and you see a woman like Sue, who's
love her.
Right.
She's
what, in her 50s?
Oh, she would love you for saying that.
I always thought she was in her 50s.
She looks amazing. Yeah.
And she's jacked as hell. I'm obviously not going to bring a picture up of her right now without her permission, but like she's jacked as hell. She moves well. She like squats, pushes sleds. And I don't think anyone would say she looks bulky.
Right? Not at all. Yeah. Her, Stacy, Jane, they look amazing. Rhonda.
Is that Rhonda? Is that little Rhonda that I love?
Little Rhonda, yes.
With the glasses.
Yep. And she's so toned. She's actually what a lot of women want to look like with their arms. The veins popping out, like, and she lifts her 10s and her 15s.
Yeah.
And Sue even has like a group, and I know because I can't remember her name either. Sorry, terrible at that. But she's the mom of somebody that I used to go to school with. At the time, the last name was Sarami.
Jane, that's Jane. Jane's also too. Yeah, Jane.
She's the mother of a woman that I went to school with and graduated with and absolutely loved to death. We were best friends, like lived down the road from each other, whatever. And they have their little group on Saturdays that go in there and work on sparring.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're awesome.
Amazing.
And they all look amazing. And I would not for 2 seconds tell you any of them look what society would say looks bulky. Mm-hmm. They just look strong as shit.
And I've trained two of them, and when they pick up weights, like Susan made her PR of 175 hip thrust, and she's very bulky. She is so toned. She's strong, and she's happy. That's all that matters. And she looks good.
That's super cool. So I'm gonna bring up something. I don't know how specifically much you're going to like it, but I'm going to ask the question because I really want to ask the question. But how you got from, you said you you were running a lot in high school, and that was like that thought process, major thought process about, you know, what you look like, how, you know, lifting weights, whatever. How do you get from that mentality to this mentality?
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's, yeah, you don't look bulky at all. You look hot as shit, and you're beating people up, which is also, I don't know, hot as shit. So where did it switch? Like, where did where did it switch from, oh my God, I might not look the way that I think I should look, to I just want to see what my body does?
I mean, you know what's really sad, you guys, is another thing with women that I really struggle with is body dysmorphia, like really bad. And I'm very open with talking about it because I love when I train young women, we talk about it. But when I ran track, I never once thought I was big. I obviously I was very aware that I was tiny, but to me that wasn't flattering. So I wanted to get quote unquote bigger and stronger because I just didn't like that feeling. And then the whole idea of like self-defense, I just liked the idea of like no offense fighting other women. I just thought that was a great idea at the time. So that's where the idea of like WWE and boxing came into play. But I personally didn't care about getting bulky. However, you would really be sad with this statement is that it took me a long time to be a personal trainer because when I fell in love with fitness at 17, 18, I wanted to be a trainer like off the bat in college, but I thought I didn't have the body for it.
Mhm.
I didn't have the Instagram model, big booby, 8-pack, like, and I was just like, and that's when Instagram, I feel like, was becoming popular again. So now we're talking like that's when it was coming out. So that's at this point, 2016, I think Instagram was like, because Facebook was like my generation, but like then it became Instagram, and then the first people that hit Instagram workouts of like these little like booty band bullshit stuff, and they're like snatched tiny fake tits, and I'm like, never mind. Yeah, I can't do that. No one's gonna take me serious. So like that mentality took a long time to get rid of, and then I just, I was really lucky that my husband pushed me to buy. He purchased the NASM certification for my birthday when I was 24 or 25, and that's when I did my career switch. So I wouldn't say I had a problem being bulky, but I had a problem thinking I didn't have a physique to be a trainer. That was very mind-fucking for me.
That's a big deal in the industry, though. Like, that very much is. Like, they'll tell you if you don't present as I don't even want to use that word. If you don't look like, something that the client is going to want to be, then you can't be a trainer. You know what I mean? Like, your brand's not going to take off, or people aren't going to want to train with you because you don't look like what someone who trains should look like, or what the client wants to actually achieve.
Yeah.
Right.
I've talked about that multiple times, and it kind of sucks. Like, it just because, I don't know, like, you don't look like whatever social media influencer that does tuck and tone, like, you can't be a trainer. And that's, I mean, especially I feel like for women, that's I would go with dudes too. I feel like there are many dudes that don't want to train with guys that don't look a certain way because in their mind, like, I want to look like my trainer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you can't have an every person body. Like, how many, like, the vision of what I want to look like isn't you, but I want to train with you because you make me do shit I wouldn't do on my own.
Right.
So it's not achievable to think like, hey, I have to have this certain body to be able to, like, motivate people or get them to want to work with me or get them to, like, it's almost self-destructive because there's no way you're going to have a body for everybody that wants, you know what I mean? Like, there's no possible way.
Right. Oh yeah. It sucks. It sucks to like have that mentality. It's hard to snap out of it too.
Yeah. Because if that's the case and I wanted to be a personal trainer, there's no woman that would ever want to train with me. All dudes are going to want to train with me. Like, damn, that's what I'm talking about.
I'll go train. We'd have a good time.
Yeah.
No, I'm scared of you. I already like sucked out after that. You already destroyed me once, girl. And I was okay with it because then I just went home and took a nap for like 2 hours while my wife was on vacation with my
Mhm.
Yeah,
son.
but then your wife got me back, so it's fine. We're
That's
even.
fair. That's fair.
I did.
Absolutely fair.
I'm here.
Well,
for
I
it.
will say this. Let me know how we feel about this one. Generational people, right? We love our peers. And just from personal experience, listen, I love to talk about mental health, anxiety, depression, all those things. I'm very open about it. If it can help someone, I'm about it. So besides already being like, body dysmorphia, self-esteem issues, I went through like, just personal stuff of my own where like I had a very, I guess to someone else and to my own dramatic weight loss before I met you guys. If we want to talk numbers here, I was like 162. I think I dropped down to like 138 where like my hip bones were sticking out and stuff.
Watch me. Hold on. Let me get rid of my dog real quick. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
But I did, and then my dogs are gonna start barking too. But I did have a very dramatic weight loss due to just stuff going on at home and being depressed, and then coming into the workspace or to a client's house, and not my regular clients, and then being like, "You look amazing. Don't change. This is perfect. Love it. Good for you." And I'm like, I'm dead inside, but thanks. And then you start to feel better, and eating again, still training, having a happy balance, and then I'm like, oh no, I'm getting bigger again.
Mhm.
And it's like that was another thing I had to deal with. That like, thank God for Alan, my poor manager / best friend / therapist / life coach / He's just like, stop being stupid. I'm like, yeah, but like when you have a bunch of people, not just one, being like, you look better now than you did last year when you wanted to get more muscle. And I'm like, you're an asshole. You don't know what's going on in my personal life of why I lost all that weight in a short amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was something very tricky as a coach to go through in such a very small environment. It's small town right here. I kind of hate it. I'm from Nassau where no one gives a shit. And now it's like everyone gives a shit. And I'm like, damn it, can't escape.
Well, I think that is a lot of.
But it's a generational thing. It's all like anyone younger was like, I like the big booty, like, all these things. And then, I love my grandma and she means well, but she's like, oh, you look better tiny. And I'm like, but no, grandma, I'm sad. Like,
yeah.
I feel like there is a generational balance there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you hear a lot of women that share, because the world sees you one way and you're experiencing life very different. And I think that is the hardest part when people do come to you and believe that they're giving you a compliment. But for you, it is so difficult to hear. Like, you don't know how much I have to, like, how much work I have to do on myself to, for some women, like, eat. Like, you don't know how much that takes out of me to eat. And you're telling me that I look heavy when I'm literally trying to survive and nourish my body a little bit. Because like you said, 6 months ago, 5 months ago, 8 months ago, a year ago, like some women might not have eaten anything. But then they're smallest. And people might have been like, oh my God, you look fantastic. And I love these stories that are like, these women finally come out in their healthier version of their bodies, whatever that looks like. Because again, healthy for me is different than healthy for you, which is different than healthy for you, babe. Like, it's all different. Our bodies are never going to be the same. That's also 100%. Something that I have heard a lot from past clients is like, well, I want to look like you. And I said, well, first off, you're 5'6". I'm 5'11". Let's start there. Because
still want your legs. Still want them.
Yeah. Like, our body composition will never be the same.
Will be different,
It will never be the same. And you might hold things in different spots than I do. You know what I mean? Like, you want what?
I just want big tits, to be honest.
You're gonna...
I would not know how to act either. Like, it'd be such a problem.
If you had them, what do I do? What do I do?
Girl, you haven't gotten there yet. I got mine when I like hit 39, 40. Just wait. They're coming. They're here for you. They're coming. I did. I was a solid B for most of my life. And then all of a sudden I hit that like late
Like a negative
30s.
A.
No, don't worry. You'll have a full B, almost a C- by the time you're like 38, 39. You're good. I'm telling you.
No,
I'm telling you.
let's not rush
That-
the age, by the way. And aren't you
Listen,
like 30?
Chicken doesn't hit the same
What?
when you get
My
to
wife? Go ahead. Tell her again that she looks like she's 30.
I'm 30.
She is not 30.
bam.
You guys are babies.
My boobs don't like agree with you. They have had 42 years worth of gravity. They do not agree with you. Sorry.
We're not doing
But it's the whole telling this your own story. And even women that look quote unquote their healthiest have been their most broken down. They're most unhealthy. Their body's literally falling apart from the inside out. You know, mentally they're not there. And so I think we do have to be very careful on the way that we approach conversations when it comes to people's fitness, because again, you're coming to me and believing that you give me a compliment. And for most people, genuinely, they are trying to just be nice. You look great. You look fantastic. But then for you, it's like, well, I don't know. Then you kind of like start to play it back and try to like figure it out. So I think that I don't know. I think it's hard to be a woman. I do. Especially in the fitness world, like I'm sure you've experienced a lot. Courtney, you and I were kind of talking about it earlier or whatever, like being coaches in the fitness world and being young female coaches is tough.
So funny.
It's tough.
I was thinking about today. I was like, I'm like really nervous to be on this podcast. Like, I don't know current events. And I'm like, nah, we are current events, man. It doesn't fucking stop. To be honest, it's like every day, it's like you feel like there's a new story. I mean, I'm sure every job has like that, like whatever their inner circle at work or like what they do. Everyone's got something, but the gym culture is so friggin' funny, man.
Oh, good. Let me ask you both about this. I was very curious to have. I was excited to have you like be in the same podcast just because I wanted to ask you both this. I do enjoy an influencer. His name is Joey Swole. And I don't know if you've ever seen him before, any of his clips or whatever, but he is like kind of pointing out the ridiculousness that is like influencers in the gym and how they like kind of make it so that it's like, if you're doing your own, if this poor, not poor, but whoever is in the gym trying to fix their weight, lower their cholesterol, just move their body, whatever, if they happen to be in the middle of their influencer video, they get all pissed and shame them on Instagram. Or like there was another good video that he put up the other day where it was, oh, there she is.
There she is. She's coming back. She's like, I want to be part of the podcast. Go down.
Girl.
Joey's called the one from Alpha Lee. Is that who I'm thinking of?
Here, I'll pull him up right now.
He always has a backwards hat on.
Yeah, he's super awesome. He did this video the other day, but
I'm curious if
let's do this one. This one's funny because this girl is actually trying to practice her posing. She's in an empty, looks like a yoga room. And she's practicing her posing. Can I get, let me get volume. Here you go. And homie comes in to roll out. He's just rolling out and she's pissed. And she's like, hey, hope you got a good view.
While you're filming yourself practicing posing. Well, this studio is meant for group classes. And when it's not being used for that, it's for everybody. Anybody can use it. People go in there to stretch, to warm up, to foam roll. Just because you're filming yourself doesn't mean you get to tell people when or where they get to use it. You don't own it. And then you arrogantly say, I hope you got a good look, hun, as if this guy is staring at you, being a gym creep. I watched this video several times. He doesn't even look at you once. But you know what I find funny? You know exactly how long he foam rolled for, what he was doing after, and you're filming him to post on social media to shame him for.
So like, yeah, I mean, I was wondering what you were both thinking about this at this point. I feel like this is happening in a lot, men, women, whatever, but mostly like, I mean, I feel like you see your fair share of women being like, this dude is creeping me out and he's looking at me and like, whatever. And this dude is doing his best to be like, or it's just getting you clicks because you want to shame whoever it is. And he even did a video on an old guy. There was just an old guy in there trying to do his little goblet squats.
With 115-pound dumbbell, mind you.
Oh,
Like,
love that.
so, I mean, even you, even me,
yeah.
even my wife, and we are all fucking fit and we are all fucking strong and we all could lift up a 115 if we needed to and walk it away from the rack. Do I want to? No. Will I? No, I won't. I will pick it up, move it away enough till I can do my goblet squats,
Right.
and then or sumo squats or whatever I'm doing, and then waddle myself back and put it back in the fucking thing. So you're getting mad about something that fitter people, quote unquote, fitter people would have done the same thing. Would have absolutely done the same thing.
How do we feel about almost what feels like, I mean, granted, this is a bad example, but unfortunately, I don't want to shame them either, but I do go to Planet Fitness once in a while and I feel like everybody is filming themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the culture.
I think it's a culture now, but this thing, like, I understand, like, me and Colleen talked about it. Like, I'm trying to work on something to like fix my back posture, right? And I like film it, send it to your coach, or look at your progress later on. I'm about that life. But like, it is very obvious that type of content, or like, I don't want to say content, footage, versus someone who is just copying someone else's gram and just doing some random ass workout in the middle of a packed gym. And it's just like, and you just can't help but stare at those people. I just like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it sucks. I don't want to shame those people either, because like that, like sometimes like I like to make content. I do know I've had feedback, and like I don't want to be annoying, but like sometimes it has helped other people have an idea what to do with sliders, squats, whatever. I like to make little videos of what I did to change my body, right?
Yeah.
And some people, you notice like on Instagram, like people saved it, people shared it. I'm like, oh, like, and I'll get feedback, like, please do more workouts. So I understand people are doing that too. So I don't want to shame anybody, but it's like, I feel like a lot of people these days are filming, and it's like it takes over the gym, what it feels like, to be honest.
But the way that you're filming, I don't feel like is the same thing as this. Like, these people are actually like filming to influence, and then something happens, they feel disrespected or their space was disrespected, and it's not their gym.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, it's not your gym. You're paying the same membership that person that walked in there to foam roll paid.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry if your shot gets messed up.
Right.
Not my problem.
Right. I think a lot of people do that. There's a couple of influencers that I did like, and they'll make a video like, oh, look at this guy in the background walk past. Like, why'd you have to point that out?
Yeah.
Did you really,
that's my point.
Does it really matter?
Yeah.
Someone's going to walk past you in the gym, especially if you're at a Globo gym. Someone's going to walk past you. There's no way.
I think of dodgeball every time. Every time you say Globo gym, like dodgeball.
Dodgeball. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so weird now. It wasn't, and I think it's swapped. I think it's swapped from kind of being men's culture now to women's culture. Because I don't know if you've seen it. I've noticed it. You walk into even your boxing gym, like it's mostly like 30 to 45-year-old females, moms trying to come in and get a sweat. Like, now you guys have a younger crowd of females that are in there just trying to learn how to be like stronger and tougher and better. But it's even in CrossFit gyms, it's females.
Moms.
It's moms.
It's literally moms.
It is legit moms trying to find themselves again after being married for 15 plus years with 3+ children, having taken care of the home, worked, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that these gyms are kind of recognizing this, or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like it's like, I feel like that's where you should be, not, or even men. Like, I'm not even excluding men. I'm not excluding men at all. There's there's also a high volume of middle-aged men that you'll come in there and see that like they hurt their knee, they got heavy because they hurt their knee, they, you know what I mean, like whatever, and they're in there. It's not these people trying to go to Golden Gloves. It's not these people trying to go to the CrossFit Games. It's not these people, you know, trying to be Mr. Olympia. It's literally at this point, we've made it now to the point where the people that actually need the help are going to the gyms. And now the people that don't need the help are shaming them for it. That was kind of my thought process on it when I watch him, and I watch some of the other, there's some other ones on Instagram that I follow that kind of do the same thing. Like they're trying to avoid diabetes.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? What are you doing?
Right. No, perfectly said.
I just feel like the gym culture has switched so much to just, when I was there, it was like gym bros did gym bro stuff. Moms, people trying to relieve stress, trying to just stay fit, trying to just be able to run around with their kids, grandparents trying to they did their thing and nobody bothered each other.
Mm-hmm.
And now everybody's freaking bothering each other.
Can everyone just like fuck off? That's what I really want. Wait, hear me out. I really like, I'm sure it's been said, but like, come on, like Fight Club, man. Like it shouldn't just be men. I think women should just beat the shit out of each other. I'm kidding, but like not really.
No, not really though.
I think it would solve a lot of problems. I stick to my word.
In high school though, when boys have problems, they go outside, beat each other up, and then they're good for the whole rest of the day.
Crazy.
But women
maybe
have
not more though. I think men got sensitive.
Yeah, culture kind of made them sensitive lately.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, now that I think about it, if I picked two of my guy friends and they had a fight, that fight would continue for a week. I really actually think that stigma might have changed.
Yeah, that sucks.
I mean,
I like that about men. No, I like that about men. I like that, like, hey, let's just go into the yard, throw hands, and afterwards we're going to get a beer. Whereas women, normally the stereotype is like, yo, I'm going to blow up your freaking phone for 2 weeks and tell all of the boys that you have gonorrhea.
I was like yep.
It's that's how we roll.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the 90s, that's how we rolled. There was no social media, so you couldn't I mean, now it's dangerous, but back then you could just go spread a rumor that Carla had gonorrhea, and then
it'd be a thing for a couple days, and then nobody would talk about it anymore.
Yeah,
like,
man.
You know,
but I do. Right. I miss those days where that it would be a good thing for women too. Like, just go hit a heavy bag, pretend it's so and so's face for 30 minutes, and then you probably won't have a problem with them later. You know what I mean? Like, you'll probably be like, oh, whatever.
Well, honestly, like the more women I work with in the ring and getting to see like the girls who want to train and the girls who have been training, there is no ego there. They're very just like zen. And like, I remember me and a former client who honestly, I hope she listens to this one day, because she asked me if she should compete. Now listen, if you want to do it, you go for it, as long as there's no medical reason holding you behind. So she killed it. And we just went like what felt like survival of the fittest for a hot second. Like it was, you hug it out at the end. And we still smiled and laughed. And then Nico's father was like, that's good. It's good that you guys are still friends. I'm like, yeah, we had a good ass time. Like, and it's just like any like Jessica Purse or like any of those awesome females, they step out and they're like, want to go get something to eat? And it's like, okay. Like, it's so refreshing. And they know, that they could kick your fucking ass in a heartbeat. And there's no like, but it's the girls that I feel just from experience who don't necessarily do like the self-defense, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai. And they're like, oh, I fucking hate that bitch. Like, those are the ones that cause problems and don't have like a way to like, do you get what I'm saying? How you, the gym people who are like, I think I'm pretty mellow. I get heated once in a while, but like, I don't know. I don't want to cause anything. Right. And then you have the girls who like are just like the preppy, I'm beautiful, I'm mean. And it's just like, I like the gym girls better. They're nice.
Yeah. Because it is that way, because you can for like 5 seconds, like just because I don't know. I kind of think it's because you suffer together. Like you work out together, you suffer together, you sweat together, you're tired together, your body hurts together. Like
There's something going on up here. A
yeah,
lot of my first like female box coach is like, most boxers got something going on up here.
Yeah.
And you're like, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. It
like
makes sense.
if we sparred together and you caught me in the face or you caught me like good to the body or something like that and it killed me over and I was like my ego wouldn't kick in. I'd want to punch you back. I'd get up and be like, okay, let's go. Right. But I wouldn't.
The easy time.
Afterwards, I'd be like, want to go to Applebee's? Like,
yeah. Go hang out after?
Yeah.
And I'd probably sit there over a burger and be like, yo, good liver shot. Like,
cheers. I'll buy you a beer.
Like, appreciate it. Let's do that again sometime. That's fine.
Awesome. I don't know. Yeah, there's something different.
I also just think that it depends on the people. If you're going into a space, I mean, when we're talking about boxing, because that's where we all like met each other and whatever. Like if you're going into a boxing ring and you feel like you have something to prove, then it doesn't matter if you and I are throwing hands or whatever and you get a good shot, because I'm already pissed. I'm already in there to prove something to you, you know?
Right.
Oh my God, that dog. I love
that dog.
She's been laying on the table like a cat this entire time.
You know, and it doesn't matter if it's female or a male. Like when you have those people that are just walking in like they have something to prove. Like I have to prove something. I have to prove that I'm the best at something. I have to prove that I look the best. I have to prove that I have authority of XYZ. I have to prove that I'm the macho man in the room. I'm the strongest guy in the room. I'm the most athletic. And then women too. Like I'm the strongest. I'm the prettiest. I'm the most I have the best body or whatever it is. When you feel like you're going in a space like that, because you can tell those people. And I'm very much not that type of person of like, I just want to go in and work out. And when you connect with those right people, but I also don't think that everybody has each other's back and will support everybody, no matter who you are, who you are. You know what I mean? And I think that we just experience it different. I think we just have to battle it different.
I think you said something so perfect, and maybe it comes with maturity, but I can like off the bat, you were saying that I already thought of 3 people who want to prove something. And I used to be that person. And then thankfully, even working with you and Garrett or Alan or Tommy and Avery and like my coach Janaid and coach Joey, like they helped me change my mindset where it's like, I want to fight for me. Yeah. I don't want to fucking prove anything to anybody like I thought I had to. I thought being a female trainer, a boxing trainer, I thought I had to compete just so people would take me serious. And my trainer, Sarah Thomas, back in the day said, please tell me that's not the reason why you would want to fight. And I always had an interest in it. Don't get me wrong. Always had an interest. And there's more details into that with like migraine issues and stuff like that. But my mindset officially shifted this year. I don't fucking care about anybody except for I want to be able to do this for me. It's not to prove a point. It's to do it for myself. Yep. Now, what you just said, I can literally think of at least 3 to 4 trainers who think that way. And it's a very negative way of thinking. It's not healthy.
No.
It's not healthy. And that's how you isolate yourself.
Yeah. And when you're in a constant need to prove something, I mean, I felt like that too, coming up as a trainer.
I think that's in your 20s. Now I'm 30 now. So like, I'm so like, just kidding. So wisdom.
Like, well, so much
because she wasn't at my birthday party. So I need to address that.
Okay. You can address that. Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll be back.
Yeah. But like, no, I really, that was a mentality when in my 20s that like it was, it went away like a couple months ago. And but that was thanks of just like practice and like mindset mentality, like changing it.
Yeah.
I have to address something with you. Why weren't you at my birthday? I'm very upset by it.
Oh girl, come on. I literally do not leave this house after 7 o'clock. There's no way.
I definitely I made contact with Colleen and I was like, where's Garrett?
I'm like, I'm sorry.
Listen,
my party's
I love
over.
You to death on so many levels, in so many ways, and I'm so grateful to you. I will never leave this unless you do like a 5 o'clock to an 8 o'clock. I'm not leaving it. I'm not leaving it for Avery. I'm not leaving it. I have best friends. I'm not leaving it. I have family members. I'm not.
I
Nope.
don't blame you. I just had to mess with you a little bit.
No, I understand.
I'm just a fan.
Absolutely.
I'm just a fan. When you guys first, I like obviously knew about. I mean, Colleen, I knew your name for a while, but we never crossed paths. And then at one point, when you guys came into the
Wait,
town,
how
I was
did
like,
you
all
know my name?
right. Because I think. Sorry.
That's all
No,
right.
it's good.
No one's moving this house, but they're not gonna stop. And anyway, stop.
You're definitely like me
I think-
throwing something.
I'm like, no, I
fine.
think at one point, oh, thank you. What's it called? I think you were supposed to teach something at the studio. Was it dance?
Yeah, the adult hip hop class. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never crossed paths with you because at that point I was still working full time down the street at the South End Press. So I worked just nights, and I think
okay.
one of your maybe was supposed to be a night. But anytime there's a new class or a new instructor, I'm always teaching at that time. So I actually I knew your name, but I never crossed paths. And then I knew when I see I'm like really too into it sometimes. Like if I get like, all right, summertime, I look at my phone, I check who my signups are. I'm like, Colleen and Garrett. Okay, cross-reference. They've been to Avery's class. He's the top dog. Now it's time to like show them who the favorite is. Just kidding. But then I'm like, but then you guys come in and like I could just tell, no offense, I could just tell CrossFit. I could tell some type of athleticism. And I'm like, okay, like, and then I'm like, how many jokes can I make during class to see if they think I'm funny? And then we're going to become best friends based on how much you laugh at my sense of humor. Because if you don't get it, you don't get it. And some people don't, you know? So that's how that relationship started. And I was like, I want to be their friend so bad.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
But you know what? That's a really big insight to who you are as a person and the energy that we all give to each other. Because I don't know about you, but there's not too many other female fitness instructors, personal trainers, group trainers, of all different kinds of fitness that I mesh with that well. Because I always felt like it needed to be a you or like a you versus me thing. I'll never forget, Court, one of the first conversations we had when we started working together, like we started training with each other, of like, making sure that we both understood that like, if we do stuff together and you use it with your people, I'm happy. Great. Ask questions. We bounce ideas off of each other. You talk about, and we've talked about more the longer that I've been there, and also now being an employee with there and being a coach with you guys or whatever, is like, you're all about team. There's not many females just in general and female trainers that are like, let's be a team. It's literally like, I have to be the best and you have to be behind me. You know what I mean? So it was refreshing to me to walk into, and this is just from my own personal experience, before you and I had any contact, of like walking in of like, oh shit, it's a female coach. Okay. We don't usually mesh really well. I'm interested to kind of see what she's like and go from there. And so when we did have those interactions and we did have the first interaction with each other and we were laughing and we were joking and we were like, and then I don't know if it was me working with Grant, and then you came to me and you were like, hey, my calf is really bothering me. And then you felt comfortable enough to come to me and ask. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I haven't felt that type of interaction with a lot of other females in my life. So have you felt that with other trainers? Like, have you felt that with, and I just say women in general, because there's different types of energy that just don't mesh.
Well, first off, flattered. No, because you know what? I don't know. Like sometimes I get in trouble for being a little too naive, and like I fall in love with everybody. But like no, like from afar, you can just tell someone's talent. I mean, I saw how the way you were speaking to the clients, and you weren't even working there yet, and you could just tell like she knows her stuff. And I knew you were, you said you're a functional trainer, and I love learning. I mean, why wouldn't you? Don't. So you said something before, like sharing ideas and then taking each other's ideas, because fitness, you can't reinvent the wheel. I love
you
people
cannot.
Who are like, I made this program. I'm like, no, you didn't. You found your 5 favorite things and you put it together because that's what I'm going to do. It's copy and paste, baby. Like that's how you get through high school. It's the same shit. So personally, I wouldn't say I came across, no, you're right. It was competitive with a female trainer. Same situation, I think, with our old work environments. I do remember that. I also noticed that in some men as well, though.
Oh yeah.
I don't even think it really just applies to women. I do see what you're saying though. I do think that there's some type of alpha thing with women, unfortunately, where I'm just like, take my client, go for it. Like, I don't know, like it.
Yeah.
I haven't, thankfully, haven't experienced it in a while. I just think like respect goes a long way, and it's like if I would say, if anything, I probably now with another trainer, but maybe more so clients. They're like, all right, you have Avery head, the trainer at the gym, Courtney Wach, blonde bimbo. Here we go. Like, what's this? What does this entail? Little do they know. Sometimes I know what I'm talking about. That's like probably what I've experienced more is the self-doubt any young person in a new profession would experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see what you're saying. That makes me sick because you're so right. And I'm happy that we were able to have that connection because I love team. I don't think anything should be done solo. Even boxers, yes, it's your own. I liked track. It was your own sport. It was for you, but you're still part of a team at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You're still like, Alan's my team, Stacy, Avery, Nico, that's Tommy, that's my team, you're a part of the team because Janae, you guys are helping me with my, like all my injuries and stuff and my my rehabilitation and like stretching and just getting stronger because I'm lazy as shit and won't do anything by myself. But I just wish it was more unified. I don't like that the gym versus gym, trainer versus trainer.
Yeah.
Just like come together. And like the fact that I was able to call you with that one client, that's teamwork.
Yeah.
End of the day, we're helping other people. It shouldn't be a competition.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Even if it's like, hey, I have this person that I think you'd be great with, but they feel more comfortable with you, fine.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm still helping reach somebody, even if it's not me personally, and I love how you say, because it's true. Fitness, you can't reinvent the wheel. A bench press will always be a bench press. It will never change from a bench press. A bench press is a bench press. And trainers get clients because there's a relationship that's formed. I don't do much different movement wise for certain clients or whatever, but it's just the relationship that you build with them. It's you as a person. And I used to always feel, like I had to do something bigger or I had to do something different, but no, the shit works. That's supposed to work. The core stuff, the functional stuff, the base, the beginning stuff. That's why I just love being, there's the whole team.
There's the fan.
The whole team.
The whole team. I think I agree with you. It's a team effort. And for me, I'm more excited than not to be a part of a team, and I say that to Avery all the time. Like, you guys at Hill Street just make us feel welcome. I always say there's a couple of things that I need to feel before I feel like it's a good fit. One is you're great to my wife. The next is you're amazing to my kid. And then if I have a good energy with you, then that's it. And, so for me, I'm happy to be a part of the team for sure.
I'm curious. One more question for the both of you before I let you get back to your child dog. But what do you think, like for the two of you, what I have always felt like when I first threw mitts with you, Courtney, I felt this intense pressure because you were another woman and I wanted to, like, I had to prove myself to you because you were another woman. I didn't do that with Avery. I didn't do that with Alan. I didn't do that with Grant. I did it because you were a female trainer, another female trainer, and I'm a woman and I want to prove myself. Like I didn't have any drive to prove myself to the men. Like, but you as a boxing coach, a boxing trainer, like I wanted to prove myself to you. So every time I ran through a minute of mitts with you during that first class, I think I killed myself. I know I couldn't do the next station afterwards. That was a minute I had to take off because I didn't breathe and was dying because I was trying to do everything you said as fast as you said it, where I could have just asked a question, but I wasn't because I shouldn't have to ask you a question. Like, and also I have to prove that I'm just, both of you, you and like, do you guys feel that way when you work with women as opposed to working with men? Because I know I definitely do.
I don't know, to be honest. I'll let Colleen go first. I don't know if I just don't give a shit. To be honest.
Fair.
Only because it's funny that you said that, because I am flattered, because as the female, I know who I work with and they're so beyond talented. So I'm like, all right, then there's me on paddles. Now I do paddles because of previous wrist injuries. So off the bat, I feel like I lost 5 points, right? Then I have 2 female coaches. I'm like, I want to prove that I can be just as good of a coach as the guys that you've seen before me. So you were feeling the same nervousness that I was feeling, except for I was on the coach's perspective.
Yeah.
So I was just as nervous as you were. I'd be like, I want to impress these 2. I want to work with these 2. They've already worked with top people over here. And I already do paddles, which people get frustrated with because people like the sound of mitts better. But for my own safety, and it's not because you guys can't hit, I've just hurt my wrist so many times, and I want to continue to box, because if I don't box, I won't have the passion to teach it. That's just fair and true. And I've gotten hurt way too many times. And you see some of the people that hit in class. So you can't kind of exclude one person. So in a class setting, I will do paddles every time. So I was just as nervous as you are, just but from a coach's perspective.
Yeah. I wasn't nervous with Avery because I know him. And I think that for as long as I've known him, I just think that there's that little bit of history with us. So I felt I didn't feel nervous with him. Alan, my very first class, I was just nervous because it was my first class. But I felt from the very beginning, him and Corey very much made it comfortable for me to come. Like they really did. So I always kind of felt like there was I know many people might not see it, but I feel like there's a gentle side to Alan. And he was very good to me on the first one. I was just nervous not to throw mitts with him, but nervous because it was my very first class. But I felt the nerves with you too. Because again, I'm a female coach. I'm supposed to be fit, and I'm coming in to do something that's completely out of my comfort zone. I was definitely nervous to do mitts with you or paddles with you. Just because, kind of like what we were saying, there is always that, like, are we working together or are we working against each other? Are we trying to prove something, or are we just are we just trying to have a good time? Is this going to be a welcoming thing? Is this going to be I want to see you succeed thing? Even if literally for the minute I just worked on my jab, because I think your class was probably like my 3rd class, maybe my 4th class that I might have taken. But there's
I think so, because that's what I think when I asked, when we did like our little like pre-interview before the class starts, because I always like to be like, hey, what's up? And do all that stuff. And you said it was your 3rd class. So that
I think so. Yeah. It was very, I hadn't done that much. I haven't done that many classes before. But I also have experienced a lot where I have felt like women were on my team and then they weren't on my team, because then it immediately became a competition. You know, there's a name back in my dancing years where, you know, she was a professional hip hop dancer. I was teaching hip hop, and we developed this friendship of like wanting to learn from each other. But then it very much came to like, bitch, I'm better than you. Like, and I'm going to take your job, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do better, and all this type of stuff and whatever. So my own personal experience, I just go into meeting other female fitness coaches with that, and it's not a good thing to have, but like what's the ulterior motive? Like, are we on the same team, or like I said, are we working against each other? And so I think after having the mitts with you and having the classes with you, it very much was like, oh no, that we're on the same team. Like, we're totally on the same team.
100%.
And you know, we were able to go from there. I've also felt that way with men too. And I'm sure, and I know, Courtney, you and I have talked about this before, where I am very much looked down at as being a young female fitness coach, that I don't know enough, that I can't teach you enough. You know, I had old CrossFit clients that I had that would come to classes, and they were men that had been doing CrossFit for a long time, that literally told me like, I don't need your help. And I'm like, but then you're turning around and you're getting frustrated because you can't move away from a lift or you want to get better at a movement, and I'm trying to help you and you tell me that you don't need my help. So, and I had other people tell me that like, this is just part of what you're going to have to deal with. You're going to have to deal with the fact that you're young and people won't take you seriously. Well, then I don't need to work with those people, you know? So I've experienced it from both sides, but yeah, I definitely felt a little bit of nerves the first time, but once I knew we were on the same team, like we were good.
I know. And it's funny when I worked with you and I was like, oh, let's lift together. I was like, ooh, she's going to realize how like lazy I am. This is shitty. I'm going to have to do stuff. But then I love it because like, it's funny. Like when you you just said it before, like I'm better than you. Like I wish you guys saw when I talk about Colleen to other people. I'm like, yo, this chick's more smarter than me. Like she knows her shit, man.
I love you dearly. I love you dearly.
I literally use my hands. I'm like, so Colleen's skill level is here. And I would say like I'm right here, right? And so, you know, he can really help with your rehab and all that stuff that I don't understand what you're saying. Like point to the problem and I'll just make sure we don't hit that target, you know? But Colleen, I pass out your business cards like it's my job. I'm like,
I love you dearly.
I just hope that we can change the game. Like it's funny. I've had people say, listen, like, oh, like I thought you were going to be mean. You look like a bitch. And I'm like, it's just my face. And then we get to know each other.
Girl, same. Same.
Like it's so funny. And then I'm like, oh no, we're just gonna be good friends.
Yeah. I've been told that I am unapproachable. I have been told that I am aggressive. I've been told that the unapproachable one. I was like, wait, I'm unapproachable? And then I
can't picture that with you. I would never say unapproachable.
Yeah. But I'm like you. Garrett's like, fix your face. I'm like, my face is fine. She's like, no. She'll give me a little tap. She's like, fix your face. That's why if there's ever a situation that I need to be in that it's going to bring out my face, I always wear sunglasses. You will notice that about me because I can't control my face. So Garrett always knows if I'm talking to someone with my sunglasses on, there's something going on that I can't control.
She can't. She has to have it. It's just, I don't even know. I'm not even sure.
It's my face.
Man. It's just the face. Remember, like with COVID, we had to teach with mask on, like, and I hated it. That's a whole topic I would never ever want to discuss. But like, I remember when they came off, I had to watch my facial expressions. But you see the clients that we experience once in a while, and you're just like,
it made you unlearn how to be like appropriate, like having a mask. Totally, everything you learned as a teenager and a young adult about how to be appropriate in certain settings, that mask shit killed it.
For sure. And I think at that point, like dear, my little Savannah, we love her. She's an amazing employee at HillStreets. She is so far past her age, and I just love her. But when I first met her, you guys will appreciate this. She came with her girlfriend, who's also a gem, and they're so talented. And there was one time, like, they know their stuff, so there was a huge respect. Once they started boxing, I was like, okay. But then I remember, like, the second class, I'm like, they had to do like wall ball, and I went over. I was like, why do you guys act stupid when we start exercises? And I said it like that, and she was like, I was like, no, like, you're better than that, like, enough. And like, I think after that, like, the relationship was just perfect, because then they're like, they snapped out of it. And I'm like, sometimes, like, that's what I like about the gym culture. You can kind of, I'm not saying it's appropriate to talk like that, but if you know your audience, I'm like, why are you acting stupid on purpose?
Yeah,
like, come on, girl, like, stop it.
I mean, I think you can have a gym culture that is like old school gym culture and honest and whatever. Like, I'll run through. What did I say today? And I'm not afraid to say this right now. It was Alan, and he did like 10 minutes of abs after this. And we ran through a circuit, and the circuit had abs. So we both had our own like ab mat. So like my sweat angel was on one ab mat already. And so when we went to do abs at the end, he's like, no, that's your ab mat. I was like, why? Because my wet stain is on there. Pause. Holy crap. Pause. And like, I think that's perfectly appropriate in a gym setting with a bunch of dudes that are like, we're all dying. We can't breathe. I'm trying to literally sit my abs up off this wet stained mat. Pause. What's the problem? I don't know. But
well, then Alan literally one day for abs, he played what he was like, I know this is yours and Garrett's favorite song. And I was like, oh boy, what song are you going to play? He played What a Man. What a man, what a man, what a man.
And I'm not mad at it.
And I'm not mad at him about it. And I
go.
start laughing and everyone's looking at me like, what does he mean by that? I'm like, oh, I don't know if all y'all know that I'm gay and have a wife. And like,
dude, I'll sing.
like,
I will literally sing that whole entire song to Grant while on my knees.
like,
Pause. And I don't care. Like, I'm fine. I have no problem. I am not offended. He's not going to be offended.
No.
Do you know what he said to me when I got out of the car one morning? No, this is gym culture. This should be gym culture. I got out of the car. I was coming in. He's sitting in his car and he's eating a muffin. And we talked a little bit. And I was like, hey, bro, how you doing? He's like, I'm really good. I'm eating my muff right now. I was like, pause. Like, what? Don't ever say that word to me again.
I love him.
and then didn't he text it to you or something?
Yeah.
Like, I really enjoyed my muff.
Hey, how was that muffin? He's like, my muff was great. Pause. Like, you can't say that to me. Whatever. It's fine.
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
You know, if you can live with that, that's how I scope out who my friends are going to be when I'm teaching. When I drop those ones, sometimes I'm bad. You haven't really experienced like when I'm bad, like when like the sexual comments come out, like just me making fun of someone directly to their face come out, and they're like, "Oh, she's such a joke." So I'm like, "No, I'm that serious."
Girl,
That's
I said it to you the other day. You made us do abs. Remember when you made us get in that baby making position? And I was like, this is a position no butch lesbian should ever be in. And she died. And I was dead serious trying to do this ab workout. Like, whatever. Don't care.
Yeah. And then one of my favorites was when we were there on a Saturday or whatever, and we're supposed to be doing like 1-2s or whatever. And these two boys were like touching each other. And you're like, I don't know what's happening. Nobody knows what their 1-2s are. These two over here are touching each other. And I'm like,
oh man.
Pause.
You're like, so for that, we're going to do it again. And we had to do it again. And it was awful.
I think I did that drill 3 times once. You guys were in that class. It was last summer. I was so angry. I was like, guys, we can't move on until you get a jab. Like, I understand, like, this is a, like, fight fitness, whatever bullshit. I was like, I'm not ruining my name just because you guys want to just, like, beat the shit out of a bag.
Yeah.
Like, no, thank you. I was like, and then like, that's when the curses come out. I was like, ooh, I'm like, push that fucking position now. I was like, I have no patience. You know your left and right? That's on you. Like, I don't know what to do.
I just love the fact that you can just be you but I also think it's because you have the support of everybody in that gym, because like, you know what I mean? Yeah. You can talk how you want. You can conduct your class how you want. They trust and know that you're going to have a great class. And they also know that you're going to have assholes in the class. And as a woman, you have to do what you need to do to feel comfortable in that class. And if there's people in there that are making you uncomfortable or pissing you off or whatever, you have every right to say, are you going to fucking listen or are you going to go do your own thing? Because go do your own thing without being a distraction in my class. And 100%. I just love that. I feel like that is such a big positive on top of many other, of Hill Street, is that you guys just support each other. You guys always do everything the same way.
Biggest support from Avery and Alan and Tommy. And Grant, all of them. Any management, they are like, they are not customer first. They are trainer first. Like, I've been in weird situations. I had this. You would love this one woman. I had her. It's also I'm sure you guys can agree with this. Sometimes when a trainer gives you a client completely, you know that trainer wanted to pass that client off. And I got tricked real bad. And it was this woman, and just the accent, the fake tan, the fake everything. And she literally was so rude. She was like, I don't like that foo-foo shit that you do. I just want to lift weights. So she didn't want to warm up she would like made fun of your bands. She just wanted to do curls and shoulder presses. I'm like, I have an hour with you.
And why are you here?
And then but I was newer at this time. And then she FaceTimed her trainer, who she clearly fucks. And and she's like, I miss you. And I'm like, she's like, I'm working out. And I'm just like, why am I? And Alan witnessed the whole thing. And he's like, give her money back right now. Let her leave. And he was like, so like protective of me. Cause I was like, cause it's very like, when you have such a good day and then there's, unfortunately there's the one bad egg that's like can ruin and make you feel like you didn't do a good job.
Yeah.
Type situation in any job.
Yeah.
That could kind of suck. But I will say too, you said I could be myself. I think teaching and boxing in general has saved me as a person. And that person that you see as a teacher, I think I want to be all the time. But ironically, I'm not. I'm actually a big introvert. I don't do much nor speak. So that's like when I let it out. And when I realized it was helping some younger women, and I only knew that because they wrote me like Christmas cards explaining their stories, and I would have never put their face to their story. Like I was like surprised when I got handed that card, like this is what you did for me. And I was like, I remember like I stared at one Christmas card for like at least an hour, and DJ was like, "Are you good?" I was like, "Nah."
Yeah, I don't think about it.
I help someone, and that's just me just making jokes because I don't like being in front of people, believe it or not. So then to go home and if we went out, you saw me at Centro, I don't speak that much.
Yeah.
So like,
I mean, you and I were talking, but that was kind of it. Like if we were just out with,
I'm like a good like three's a party situation. You know what I'm saying? But like,
that was a little invite date, honey.
But like big groups, I'm not like the dominant one. Like that's not my forte. I'm a big introvert. So that person as a teacher, I want to be for myself all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I went from doing really, really big classes. There were some times that I had, 20 plus people in a CrossFit class, and I loved it. I fed off the energy, but I was very much like you. When like the time was done, the time was done. And I know that everybody wants me to start coaching classes again. I'm just not in that space to coach. I very much want to do one-on-ones, semis. Like I'm just not in that space to be in front of a lot of people like that. So I totally can hear you on that one, because we're also the same way. Like we go Garrett's in front of people all day at the deli. We literally like hide ourselves for the rest of the night. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's a lot though. Cause not that you're putting on a personality, but you kind of are. You kind of have to be. Yeah.
You're putting on a show. That's the experience. I think my first thing is safety and the second is fun.
Yep.
Safety and fun. Cause I think fitness is fun. Why would you do something you don't want to do?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Just because I'm like, guys, we're having fun. I'm saying that just like a little perspective change.
Yeah.
Like, come on, it's not that big of a deal. Go home and ruin it and eat Dunkin' Donuts after. I don't give a fuck. Just have fun in that hour and just have a good time doing it.
Yeah.
Because I do everything for
yourself. Be present a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to that whole, cell phone conversation that we were having about like, you can't go into a gym now without a cell phone or whatever. A lot of people just can't be in the present moment anymore. Yeah. Everything has to be shared. Everything has to be liked. Everybody has to be seen by millions of people to validate themselves. And, I think
the same thing. Yeah.
It's just the culture that we're in. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I very much am trying to stay off social media as much as possible. Like I don't share too much about myself anymore. Like I really don't.
Oh God. And I've started sharing everything about myself, but whatever, it's fine.
It's that whole feeling of like, you have to be seen. And then people, Garrett and I had a conversation with someone else about this or whatever, is that Facebook and Instagram is an invitation into your personal space. And I'm just at a point right now where like, I don't want people in my personal space. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's like face-to-face permission given,
right.
But you just can't. People just can't stay off their phones.
It's a curse. It's bad. I keep Facebook just because I have to remember people's birthdays.
I know, right?
Go fuck up. I'm like, oh, it's so and so's birthday. Still don't send that text. Yeah. No, there was a point where I wanted Instagram. I took like my mom off. Like I don't like pictures and stuff. I was like, I want this to be strictly training and just Courtney. That's it. Dogs, of course, because their identity is what it is. They're just like, those are my little babies. But other than that, you'll see I only post really just training videos of like promoting Susan, Marty, Stacy, and just that progress that might inspire somebody else.
Yeah, for sure.
That's about it. And like I wanted to change my platform to more fitness and mental health. I think we've talked a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Which that's like a whole other topic of conversation.
We'll save that for another one. Yeah.
Like it was like mental health, and the fact that if you actually openly talk about it, that's also not a good thing. So like, but maybe we'll save that for another time. It was a really interesting.
Yeah, we'll definitely do another one, because we were kind of touching on that topic earlier, the correlation between mental health and physical fitness, and how, yes, we get the positives of the physical change that we all go through, and if the body doesn't feel good, then we can't do good things. And for so many more people, it's even bigger than that. It's mental stuff. You know, that's
100%.
part of the body. And if we don't take care of it, then, you know, we're not living the best that we want to live. So
yeah, don't worry. This is going to be a series. We're going to follow up on this. I feel like you got way more comfortable as it went on. So,
I mean, my dog jumped on the table the first 60
I was
seconds.
gonna say, I didn't even see that you were nervous.
family
No,
conversations.
you're right.
Bro.
Just talking to you guys. I was actually making jokes. It's like, all right, I'm gonna get invited onto this and then disinvited as per usual in my life.
No, this is gonna become a series.
No,
this is gonna become a series.
This is what we do. We just like to have like a normal, like if we were all sitting at a regular table.
Yeah.
We're just not at the same table right now, but we like that kind of that feeling. So
And Loki was like, "Are they gonna invite me over? Like, because I want to just do the podcast like in your kitchen." So like,
you
we're all
can.
free.
We have a couch right
Yeah,
here.
absolutely.
We have a
I
couch.
love
You can
that.
sit right there on the
I'm
couch.
super curious. Who's BDJ? I'm here. I have no idea who she is. That's
Oh.
fine.
Pop in, Jeff.
That's my best friend Jeff. He
Yeah.
like helps in technical stuff.
Yeah,
and-
he's the turn your video on.
Weirdo.
I don't even keep this plugged in.
Oh.
He usually runs the background for me where he pulls up Instagram and stuff like
really?
that. But yeah,
Oh, you haven't met my
you
friend
haven't met Jeff yet. Yeah, no, Jeff's
you
cool.
haven't
He's
been into
usually
that.
he takes care of sound.
That's
and
Jeff.
That's Jeff.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
was late to the show.
Love BDJ. He's the other character on the show.
Yeah.
I love that.
You want to know
No,
what BDJ stands for?
Stop being weird.
I'm sure she can.
Doesn't even mean what you say. it
I'm
means.
sure she can figure it out.
No, it means it.
No, it doesn't. It's just Instagram that I don't keep up because I don't want people to find me.
Was it like Big Dick Jeff?
Yeah.
Oh my God. No, it's not. That's what she thinks it is. Oh, I knew you were going to do it.
Yes.
You were gonna do it. Okay.
Perfect introduction of Courtney
Nice
to
meeting
Jeff.
everybody. This is
Okay.
great.
Hey, baby, come here. Come say one thing so we can end the show. We'll end the show on this. Say, pause. Good night.
Pause. Good night.
Well, girly, this was so much fun,
It
and
was
we'll
great.
definitely do it
Yeah.
again. And listen, if there's anything that you feel you would want to talk about, you know,
Yeah.
from
Bring
a
it up.
woman's perspective, and you know what you've been through in fitness and relationships, or anything that you feel like you know want to talk about, like this is the platform to do it. So.
Even if you want to ask me questions as the butch lesbian that I am, feel free. If you don't know the answers, I'm here to answer all of said questions. That's fine. That's what I'm here for.
So you're saying I don't have to pay for therapy anymore?
No,
Fantastic.
You
you
do
don't.
not.
I'm here. I'm here. I can
you
answer.
do not.
I can answer all tire changing questions, basketball questions, gutter repair, and by that I
Okay.
mean I'll ask Jeff and he'll tell me what it is.
I was like,
and
gutter
then
repair, really?
No, I just,
You?
I feel like that's what lesbians are supposed to know. I don't know them. I know how to find people that know how to do it. That's my butch. Like, that's what I add to the community.
That's
So,
right. That's right.
Thank
I
you.
love
I'm
it.
here all day.
All right, girl. Will I see you
We
tomorrow?
love you.
You coming to gym tomorrow?
Maybe. I don't
Alright.
know. You guys see how the day goes.
Well, I'll be there
I
all
said
morning.
no.
So come say hi.
Oh, that's right. You work there now.
Yeah. Yeah. So come say
I
hi.
already knew you worked there, like the desk stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe I'll
Okay,
go
just
there.
don't get off. Just goodbye. We love you all. Don't get off though.
Okay.